today in Los Angeles, and by Los Angeles I mean Seattle. I can't believe it finally happened. I mean, I have so much to talk about. I talked about it on X. I didn't talk about it on the channel yet. But I have to. I have to talk about a lot of things. A lot of things happen all at once. So I guess I'll start at the beginning of my day. Beginning of my day was my neighbor likes to go out at night. Sometimes he comes back at a decent hour, sometimes he doesn't. I'm not his keeper, so, he's a grown man, he does what he wants. Either way, today when he came back, he's taking care of his injuries, because he does have some injuries. And it was bothering him, and he decided to take care of it in bed. He has a foot injury. And so he tries to take care of it in his bed. And she says, the female staff, you should do that in the restroom because it's unsanitary for you to do it in the bed. And all I can think is, I'm not involved in this, just try and, get through this. But then he had it. He just had it with it. Because he's using alcohol sanitizer, so technically he's sanitizing the space as well. So he does have a point, but then he started yelling and cursing. And then she decided to get the male staff, and the male staff say, okay, well, why is there yelling? Okay, take a night out. Doing him a favor. This is why I'm upset on a level, because these people were doing him a favor, because this dude likes to be outside. He's bald, he's a Marine, he can take care of himself, most likely. He's crippled and he walks with a terrible limp. I walk with a limp, but he walks with a terrible, terrible limp. He just had to get a cane. It's awful. It's awful. But he's a bald white guy who's a Marine. He would most likely be fine. And he was already spending a night out almost every night he could get. So it wasn't really a punishment. It was, dude, just cool off. Because the guy was trying to work with him and say, look, she's on her power trip. I tell you what, why don't you take a night out? Take a night out. Think about what you're doing. And then come back. But then this Marine decided to drop the F-bomb. F-A-G-G-O-T. That word against the male staff. And at that point I had to say, I know this dude has been smoking meth for the past couple weeks. He must still be high if he couldn't figure out what they were trying to do, what they were trying to say. Some people are outdoor cats. Some people are outdoor dogs, some people are outdoor cats. Some people are indoor cats, some people are indoor dogs. He was an outside dog. He was definitely an outside dog. These people were doing him a favor, and I wanted to come onto my show and say, how dare this woman gang up on... It's just like, dude did not want to read the room. Because they're trying to say, look, we get it. It sucks to be here in this kind of situation. Why don't you enjoy some freedom? Why don't you enjoy some relaxation? You like to get high? Go get high. You're not the type of person we're trying to rehabilitate. We have plenty of people who we're trying to rehabilitate, and that's what a shelter is for most people. A shelter is a way to get them reconnected to the workforce, get them connected to apartment living, debt. Let's just call it what it is. They try to connect people who were living freely. Yes, some of them begged, some of them do. But some of them just say, "Yeah, I get my social services, I live within the means. Live for free on the street." Now, I wanted to, because I took a picture of this homeless person just passed out in front of the library, just completely passed out. Like, I'm not sure if the person was alive, I hope he was, but dude was just passed out in the middle of the street. People walk around it, but he's getting his REM sleep. You pay how much for rent here? Because if you are a working person, you're paying what, $2,000, $3,000 for renting a space that you do not sleep in. You know what you do? You stay up on your phone. You know what you do? You scroll on your phone instead of going to sleep, instead of resting. The people who are homeless, they go to sleep. They know what sleep is. They're living longer, healthier lives most of the time because they get sleep. This guy was from the streets, barely gets sleep, and he barely gets sleep in there because they keep the lights on at all times. They're trying, I swear, it's a concentration camp. It's the nicest concentration camp that the state offers currently. But it is a concentration camp because the lights are on constantly. So it's very hard to get sleep. It's very hard to get sleep when someone shines a light and asks you, "What bed number are you?" I mean, I can read, but what bed number are you? It's weird. But long story short, and that was a long story. He called the male staff member an FAGGOT. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to give that word that much power. And I'm actually shocked that he said it because this fruity little Marine was walking around like a fucking Tootsie Roll. He was so chewy and delicious because he's showing booty, he's showing his hairy chest any chance he gets. He rubs it up and down suggestively. Like, dude is gay as fuck. And when I was trying to change in the shower, he's like, "If I had a camera, if I had a camera." I'm like, dude, I'm trying to change. Like, whatever. So it still shocked me that he would use that particular word because it's like, dude, do you have a mirror? Do you have a mirror with the way that you're acting? I'm more demure than this guy, and I walk around in what I can only describe as the gayest outfit that Seattle had ever did see. But this guy takes the cake. But he used that word, and that was his benediction. That was the closing statement for his argument. The defense rests. They bounced him. He's gone. He's gone. The only delicious white guy that I had to look at night, and he's gone. They bounced him. He's like, first it was take a night out to think about what you did, you bad boy, you bad older gentleman who's in his 40s. Oh my God, you're so naughty. You're so naughty. Take a night outside, sleep on the street, you naughty boy. Go do some drugs. I know you'd want to, you naughty boy. It's the weirdest fucking BDSM conversation that you ever did see. But this guy took it and just said, "Fuck it, I'll nuke the whole entire thing. I'm tired of being oppressed." And so he exited. He exited. He's like, he used that word, and the guy just said, "Fine, you're never coming back." And so he's free. He's free. He left, and he doesn't have to come back. He can choose a different place. He could choose a different state. That's what happens when sometimes you're told no, or you're fired, or you're evicted and stuff like that. People always look at that as I'm at the end of my rope. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's the end of the world. It's no, it's the beginning of a new one. I mean, it's the end of my world because of the very friendly Ethiopian to talk to, but no Edward Norton to talk to. Now, Edward Norton was very delicious in that particular scene, graphic as it may be. It was, I never saw that side of a Hulk before. Anyway, anyway, that is so wrong. That is so wrong to say. I'm so dirty. I'm so dirty. But then again, I am just, my world is shattered. My world is shattered. This hot, hairy, bald, not a muscle daddy, but still a daddy, Marine is out of that program. I mean, what am I going to do? I mean, enough about his problems. What about my needs? Who am I going to talk to? Who am I going to talk to? Oh my God. Ugh. So that's the long and short of it. And so because of that, normally I rest my leg and my body because I have a military injury, which I shouldn't be standing on. Well, oh well. Let me try sit down again. Someone took my bench. Ugh. Yeah, I only got up for like a second. But either way, because of that incident and the energy that was just in that space, I just didn't feel comfortable sleeping there because I was just going to take a nap. I'm like, that sounds like a huge problem. That was a huge fight, raised voices and everything. I'm just going to. Hi, hi, hi. Okay, so as I was trying to say, so because the hairy chested, friendly, fruity little marine daddy is gone, I was just, why is it that the phone craps out 10 seconds before an attractive man walks by me? And it's just on a certain level, you want to run up on that and say hello because you know you could. But then you're in the middle of a podcast and you're like, oh, but I really want to talk about the other thing. Oh my God, he's coming back this way. Uh, okay, super awkward, super awkward. Okay, so since I left, I went to the library and not much. I made a brand new song about it because I'm all about write your feelings, don't just let your feelings be bottled up. So my new song, Freak in the Streets, Muslim in the Sheets, is probably going to be out at the end of the night. So by tomorrow, it'll be everywhere. But as I'm exiting the library to go do this podcast, lo and behold, I'm walking down the street and some guy looks at me. I look at him. You get the vibe. He says hello. He says, I'm cool with the gays. I am one, I think. So I was like, okay, let's explore that. Let's explore that together. So I walked with him for a while, and dude just straight up got down on his knees and hugged my butt. Just hugged it. Had a lovely bum in his face, just a stranger and everything. And I said, this is what I have been missing for a year. For it's been at least, oh God, no, it might actually be 2 years. 2 years since I've had a man touch me erotically. Is how I want to put that. I mean, I'm sure I've had strangers give me a hug or something like this, but this was hug with a sexy vibe. And like, honestly, dude was homeless. I'm homeless. Dude was just trying to be nice and friendly and feel that energy. And I just said, why not? Just be happy and let another person give you a hug, a sexual hug, not a sexy. I don't know how to say that. Okay, so it wasn't sexual intercourse, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It was just, do you realize you're attractive? Okay, okay. Let me remind you. Let me remind you that you're attractive. Because I have such terrible PTSD that sometimes I just want to cry in the shower or cry in my bed because it's hard for me to go outside because every time I see a woman, I see a rapist. And I just can't turn that off just because they're being nice, just because that I paid them to render a service for me. It just doesn't turn off. You know, I've had way too many times where women have sexually harassed me, women have stalked me, you know. And understand that if I was more of a celebrity, that is what it means to be a celebrity. And I guess these past few years of making music and being a model and fashionable, it's do you really want this? Because if you really want this, it comes with that. It comes with that all the time. You can't turn it off. You're gonna end up walking around with either bodyguards or full Kevlar underneath your couture gown. That's a hard way to live. However, that's a big ass. Look at that. That's a big ass. Damn. Why is Daddy stacked like that? Why is Daddy stacked like that? No wonder why he got two kids. No wonder why he got two kids. There's something that you grab on and you just lock your legs around and you're like, no, 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 no. You better finish inside. You better finish inside. Finish inside. And that's how you end up with two kids. I mean, dude wanted to have sex in public, most likely. I'm not looking to get arrested, trying to get some. No, no, it's not happening. It's not happening. That's not happening. Because at this point, people are just looking for excuses. Aha! You! Aha! We've got you now. And I'm like, "Eh." So I had to walk away from that situation. But dude literally invited me in his underwear, saw his cock ring and everything, and he's uncut. It wasn't bad to look at. It was not bad. Big balls. It was not bad. That's what I've been missing for 2 years, if I'm being honest. At least 2 years of not being able to feel safe or confident enough to interact with men. 2 years. Sure, the government decided to pay me for my military sexual trauma. It's not the same as having a safe area to be myself, to feel to. Now, granted, I wouldn't see a relationship between myself and that particular person, but does it have to be that way? It was just nice. It was nice in a world where I'm just in my head because I have PTSD. I'm just constantly. I feel pressured. I just feel cornered and surrounded at all times. It feels claustrophobic to go outside in a world where, yeah, there are a lot of women. There are groups of women. It's not something I used to think about before I was sexually assaulted by the goddamn women, but now that I have, it's all that I think about. And I don't like that. I really don't, because I wasn't raised this way. I was raised in a loving family with women in them. I had a mother, I had a sister, I still have a sister. And it was a joy to be around them, a joy. Thank you. I already forgot your name. Cock ringing homeless person who decided to hug my bum. Thank you for reminding me that maybe with time and a little effort and never wearing deodorant again, get that gym stank on, get that Tony stank, get that Tony stank on me. Uh, Maybe I don't know, go on a date, do something, because I tried the Tinder and I almost think that Tinder is just designed to say to you, just be unhappy, just be single and unhappy. Like, why would you want to be in a relationship with any of these people? Do they look like there's someone you want to be in a relationship with? And I thought about that. I really did. I thought about it because I was in Starbucks and How Soon Is Now came on the theme song to Charmed. And Charmed is like the one show on YouTube that no matter what I do, I have to stop and rewatch the little clips, because that show was so forward thinking. It was so dialed in to what people needed to hear. This idea of women and witchcraft. I mean, before I had my terrible PTSD, it was almost like Norse mythology. I almost felt like Odin when he said, I want to learn magic. And, he went to a female who was a witch, and she taught him her ways. And he had to cross dress, he had to do all these things in order to learn magic. But when he finished that, he knew magic. And a lot of men just aren't willing to go that far. But it's not like put on some lipstick and whatnot. It's, do you see your lips? Take care of them. Do you see your skin? Take care of that. Little things like that men are just like, I don't care. I don't know why women won't try to talk to me. It's, you don't put any effort in. You just think you are enough. And that is enough for some women, not all. So I was thinking about the one episode of Charmed where all of their dreams were coming into reality. And one of the dreams that they had was Piper dreamed of her ideal lover. And I just thought about it. I thought, she should have it all. She has an angel, a white lighter for a husband, a lover, and everything.
someone who literally heals you anytime you're in pain, anytime you're injured, brings you back from the dead every single time. But he's not always there. And so she had her fantasies. She had her fantasies of being touched and being cherished and told that she's beautiful, just all the things that she should be experiencing. The reason I was thinking about that particular episode is because earlier in the day, I had walked into this, I want to say, a Seattle voting initiative building, whatever. I forget the name of it. It's somewhere close by. I asked them to be on my podcast. I'm sorry, but I'm not good with names. So hopefully they get back to me, and we'll coordinate with it. But I followed the links that they gave me because they were more involved with the getting people elected thing, and I'm more of the can you just get off your fat asses and just make a vote, put it to vote, and vote. Don't ask for a leader. Don't ask for your leader. Just get it done. If you had one city block that says no gun violence in our area, then guess what? You did your job. Yeah, I would like it to be every bit of the whole city, but sometimes that's a little hard. I would like it to be all across the state, but sometimes that's hard. All across the country. Now you're just asking for things that you know aren't going to happen. But you can say, hey, all the people in one building could agree on that. All the people in one block could maybe agree on that. But you want to go this route that has broken down every single time. I know I'm terrible with tangents, but I walk and I have these thoughts. And I was thinking of Jennifer Coolidge in Legally Blonde, where she says things like, "Oh, that really makes me want to have a hot dog," or "feels like the 4th of July." And it's Jennifer Coolidge, beautiful woman, nice big tits. It's supposed to be a funny thing. But the moment that she is referring to, it's a big triumphant moment. She's watching her friend triumph, triumph in a courtroom, triumph at a graduation. Like, these are the moments you should be celebrating. These are the moments you get the fireworks out for. You only reserve the fireworks for things like the 4th of July, which celebrates the whole country. And I guess that means something to people. But what means something to you? These little things, maybe it's not fireworks, but maybe you cherish these moments more. So that's all I have. After several podcasts where I talk about how I feel so unloved, I finally gotta go. It's just like, dude, let me put that face of mine in your bum. And I'm like, yeah, you can. Please do. Well, guys should.
Going through life where it's always, can I sit next to you? Can I sit next to you? And I'm like, there are other seats. I'm like, why you want to sit next to me? Why? It's just why? You can tell I'm gay. I mean, like, so why? Why? Although I have to talk about it. I mean, I'm guilty of the same exact thing. I sat down next to this poor. I'm not even going to say he's autistic. He was just really particular. But I tried to stick my plug into the outlet box. He's like, "No, you can't do it. They're out of power. Out of power." I'm like, Dude, I've literally used it like a couple of times, and I haven't had an issue with it. But mm, he was just like so particular about it, and that's what I'm dealing with. I could talk to a bunch of guys, I could, but it just never seems that I get to. I never do, and it is difficult because that little exchange that we had could have ended up with me being punched in the face and having a broken nose because I, wiggled my eyebrows. It's, it's so hard to be gay. It really is. Even in 2026, with all the woke culture and all the gays and Netflix, Netflix is this is why even when you don't support Netflix, you still support Netflix because they're the one company out of many that just says no, 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 we're gonna have gays in pretty much everything. It's a warrior nun. Yeah, well, we're gonna have a trans character, we're gonna have a gay character, we're gonna have this, we're gonna have that. Everyone's gonna be of color. It's just like fine, fine. You're the coolest network. You're the coolest network if you could do stuff like that because that level of visibility matters. It really does. Visibility matters, which is why I hate the fact that I'm so traumatized. I just can't audition for things where I could be someone's gay role model. I could be some transgender person's role model. I could just be a nerd's role model by being in front of the camera. But I'm damaged and awkward, and I can never get my hair right. And I need to shave because the beard is coming in. It's so cute. I mean, I can't stay in Seattle forever. I'm like crunching the numbers. I'm crunching the numbers, going, I could do one more month. I could do one more month. Just enjoy this. Just enjoy this. But I want more out of life. I do. I mean, I am literally clicking my heels together and jumping in the air because a homeless guy, like I'm homeless, decided to give me a hug when I could just find a guy that isn't. But I just don't know if that's me either. You know? It's hard to put into words, but it goes back to that image that I want to put as the cover image of this particular podcast because there is something to being so liberated to say, I am homeless, I reject living in an apartment, I reject living in a house, I reject this attempt at putting me into debt or making me work like a slave just to keep this place. Because once you get an apartment or a house and you start filling it with your stuff, all right, so I was talking about this idea that I'm big with ideas. What it means to be homeless and liberated. Liberated from the stress, liberated to choose your own path, choose where you want to go, what you want to experience. You want to experience new things, experience new things. You want to slow down and develop. You can do that. You can do that when the funds you do have are your own, when you're not paying for a space. Yeah, I have to, well, not have to, I choose to. Always keep your agency. I choose to live in a shelter where, it's just a bunch of guys together. It should be more of a men's shelter atmosphere, but they have so many women who chose to be staff members. But then, because of that, it almost changes things. Well, you gotta keep your shirt on. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. If it was all men's as staff, if it was all of those things. Do you know the difference you would have? You would have men learn a little bit more about tribalism, because if you're black, if you're white, if you're Asian, you used to be a part of a tribe. You used to be part of your clan, a group of you together, and you were unified together. I guess. Everyone had a role, everyone had a purpose. Little things matter. Somebody sweeps, somebody mops. Somebody, just wipes down the tables that you eat on. You share chores. When you get a house, you get an apartment. Yeah, you might clean it up if you're a good person. But sometimes it's, you just clean your space, but you don't clean the outside area. You don't pick up litter. You don't see. Yeah, that could be in the recycling bin. So, where these lessons that you're learning in these group spaces, where these lessons that you're supposed to be learning about life, real life. I walked into that Washington Get People Elected organization because I wanted to have a conversation with them of, I know you want to get people elected and you think that still matters, but your day-to-day operation of your city is still within your hands. And if you're not willing to stand up and make changes in your life, I keep saying if I found the right city, I would just have a program where people take whatever meal that they were going to get and just cut it in half and give it to another person and say, okay, you can give me half the amount for it or whatever you can afford. Because the food that we eat is really toxic. And the less you eat of it, the better you are. Homeless people have more hair on their heads than regular people. Why? Because they're not eating the food. The food is toxic. In America, at the very least. Maybe around the world, they should start looking into their food as well. But I don't know. I wish that I could just go to the Senate and ask for a hearing on food safety and food quality in my country, because we don't talk about it. We don't talk about how sometimes it gives you cancer or sometimes it gives you huge amounts of mental illness because you're malnourished. And these are things that you could vote on today. But you want to wait for your ideal person, this person to come and save you, make promises, and then say, oh, well, it's out of the budget. I love when a politician says, oh, we don't have money for that. And then you say, well, how much do we pay you? Do we pay you money? You sit in an office. You have staff. Oh, do you get stuff catered for your? Oh, you do. Oh, okay. Do you use personal transportation? Do some of you Uber in? Do you put that on a company expense report? Do the taxpayers pay for that? And then when the taxpayers ask for you to add an extra bin or maybe pass better gun regulation ordinances, you just don't, it's not in the budget to do that. I find that interesting. Because sometimes what you need is already available. It's just a question of logistics, not money. So when they're deflecting in their office as a representative, as a mayor, as a governor, and they tell you it's about money, it's just about laziness. It's about making a promise that you can neglect to keep for the next term. Because if you solved it and it's not a problem, then you don't have a talking point to differentiate yourself from another candidate. It's a long game, but we're losing. And we're losing because we keep looking for candidates instead of saying, I run to be Batman. I run to be Batman in Seattle. I run to be Superboy in Seattle. I don't really need votes for that. I just do it. That's the difference. If I see some litter, I pick it up. That's the difference. A mayor doesn't think that way. A mayor doesn't think that sometimes you just do it with your own two hands. You don't throw money at an issue. You just do it. Gets done. Cleaning the sewers for when it finally does rain in Seattle, it doesn't back up into the street. You want to tell me that's a money issue, or that's an issue where you have to round up a bunch of people who weren't doing anything at the time and say, look, for a coupon to go to a restaurant which will 10% discount your food, could you get this done? Turn to your community and say, look, we need to take some action on these issues. Can you do it? Within budget, we have to technically pay you because you are working for the city and state at this time, but we do need to get that done. Where is that initiative? I don't see that. I don't. But that's how a city needs to operate. So as Superboy / Batman, that's what I'm going to try and do for the remaining time I'm here. I'm going to try and get some things done. May not get everything I want done, but a few things maybe. Cleaning the streets and making sure that people are heard. People can form referendums that they can vote on. People don't just start angry and dissatisfied. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of missed opportunities for a person to be that disconnected from each other. But if we don't take responsibility for it and say, I could have reached out more, then things will never change. And I need things to change, because when your town is hurting, when your city is in pain, you don't ignore that. You talk about it, like I do, on my podcast. My name is Ian Ileona. I'm an environmentalist. I'm a human rights activist. I'm a mutant. I'm a werewolf, an alien. I'm a human. I'm a veteran with PTSD for military sexual trauma. I'm not getting any better. I hope to see you on the next podcast. Kisses.